This is what ties it all together, guys. This stuff makes all the difference. All right, we're gonna caulk this up, you guys. You don't need to tell me it looks like crap. Like I said, little things like this make all the difference in the world. Caulk it in the right way. Make sure you wipe it all out. Pull it out so it doesn't look all globbed up. Look at that. I mean, really, come on. How hard was that? How much better does that look? Let's do this part. Big old gaping hole here. I don't know what the hell that was. Bada bing, bada boom. See any nail holes? Not anymore. Woo. There we go. 5 minutes for a 500% better look. Look at that. Why wouldn't you not? Why would you just walk away from that? I don't know. I already did all this. Wow, that was really hard, huh? Got a little bit more to do there. Caulk that. Caulked around the top of the countertop where it meets the wall. Put a nice thick bead in there. All right, so this is what it looked like when I started. Like that. You can see where I've been. See where I'm going. My first tube of caulk, I cut a much larger hole, so always remember when you're caulking to cut a hole appropriate for what you're doing. Just gonna go along here. Get a little more of it in that corner. Fill all these gaps in, because whoever did the trimming here was either blind or must have been at night and no lights on. This is what ties it all together, guys. This stuff makes all the difference. Little things like this. Just a couple dollars worth of caulking. Okay. We're not pushing hard, we're just laying it down. Push too hard, you just push all the caulking right back out again. Okay. Boom. Okay. Some hole in the molding here where they seamed it. So we'll just use that glop from my finger to fill that in. I'm going to caulk this and get it all sealed up so the caulk can dry for tomorrow. Fill that corner where somebody didn't know how to do a 45, obviously. They just cut it rough and let it rip. So a hole right there. This is the difference between a professional job and a half-assed job. Okay. Pull it up Up into the corner. That's all it takes, guys. You just gotta care. You just gotta give a crap. Show you how nice it looks when you caulk things and then paint them. Can't make everything perfect, but it sure does make a difference. Look at that. So much better. That's how it is when you take your time and you care. I like to do this at night because the shadows are a lot better. Sounds weird, but you can really see what you're doing a lot better at night with light on. During the day, it's not illuminated. I will give you a secret working on bathrooms. If no one's living there and you start to smell a bad smell, you need to run water in the shower because the P-trap is probably dry, which means that because they haven't been using the shower, any of the smell from the sewer can work its way back up through the P-trap. I'm just wanting to paint everything I caulked to kind of seal it in, and that would be along this left side here and along that right side there. This paintable caulk turns yellow. You're not going to caulk things with it and be able to walk away. You're going to actually have to caulk before your last coat. And what that does is it means that when you put your last coat on, you can cut in and seal the caulk for one, and then the paint color will do its thing. Just kind of showing you how much nicer it looks when you caulk things that are not perfect. Get a nice cut in on that. To the ceiling. 3rd of July, so you'll hear some fireworks. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. So much better. I'm just going to do each area. Shower much farther because that's all going to get done with white polyurethane. And I don't want to put white water-based paint down because it won't dry enough before I paint the polyurethane to paint over it. So the old paint is dry enough because it's been painted for years, and the polyurethane will stick to all that. Again, but there's not much help in this trim. It's pretty messy. So, paint underneath too, because there's caulking there. And it's so much easier to see with nighttime. Make sure everywhere you put caulking that you paint, because that caulking will turn yellow and it will look like shit. God, this looks 10,000 times better. nails hanging out everywhere. That's all it took. Just 2 seconds. All you gotta do is care for 2 seconds. Oh, my nasty spot where the hammer was. And it's gone. Pretty much. Way more gone than it was. Didn't know how to drive their nails. I guess it was just a lazy thing, or somebody was drunk. I don't know. That easy. That easy, guys, to make a difference. Only do so much sometimes, but sometimes everybody's testing out their fireworks. Be a happy bug. I guarantee it. You will not like the way you look. Okay. in the paint. Scrape them off. It all in. It's looking good. Without caulk, that would have looked like a complete nightmare. So we spent about 4 tubes at $3 a tube, and maybe a couple hours, not even, including the painting of it all. And then when we go and roll the ceiling out, it'll tie in nice. This will all get another coat, of course, but you guys can get an idea of how much of an improvement it is when you caulk things, instead of just leaving gaps around your molding, especially when you're using white paint. Now, if you're using a dark colored paint like dark brown or, you know, some charcoal color, you can usually get away with a lot more because those gaps won't show. But when you're using white paint, the gaps around the molding are so obvious, it just looks like general shit. So we got one more coat to do, but you guys can see how much better this looks when it's caulked and cut in properly. You can see that I went around the sink and cut all the excess caulk off where we caulked that. Now when we paint the countertop, we'll be able to get some white silicone caulking and just put a small bead along this and it'll look really nice. We do know now that under this sink, we know for sure that it's sealed because we re-caulked it. It was in really bad shape, so now it's sealed and water won't run underneath that and get into the cabinet.